So you can look terrific on your videos, and you can look very professional and very polished just going with your cell phone and no equipment whatsoever. And most people don't believe me when I say that, because they've tried it themselves and they've gotten a look very close to what we've got going on right now. And that's not doing it for them. But often the result is they just take that as, I'm ugly, I shouldn't be doing video because I'm not attractive. Well, it's the case that you don't know what you don't know. Nobody is attractive unless you really set it up consciously and know what to do to what we call frame your shot so you look better. So this is where what most people start. They are usually dead center in the field. They usually have a shallow background, often a plain white background, which will get light bounce and for most skin tones won't look so great. And they're way too close to the camera. So we want to fix all these things. The first thing you want to do is back up from the camera. We want to go from about rib cage up. That is going to just make you look a little bit more approachable, make your face look a little less distorted, which will make you feel more attractive, and it's a little bit better. But we also want to get off center. Now, depending on the space that you're filming, you may not have a lot of room to get off center, but even a little bit matters. And that's counterintuitive for people. People want to put themselves center. But when we do that, we're tapping into a deep level of primal human psychology that we don't necessarily want to tap into, which is that in nature, we don't usually face off directly unless there's aggression or defense going on. Even a romantic dinner for two in a restaurant where people are sitting across the table from each other, they're usually a little bit off to one side or the other from each other, or they're angled a little bit. And that's because when we do that, when we're shoulder to shoulder with somebody, and you've heard that expression, we're in it with them. We're in this together, right? And we tend to move in natural, relaxed human connection, and so we don't end up in that dead center place. When we're in that dead center place, usually we are trying to be the authority or prove ourselves, or sometimes we're getting a mugshot or getting ready to pick a fight. You don't want those things. So get a little bit off center. But also think about perspective in your background. If you're the only thing to look at in your frame, then that is going to sort of make you more of an image in a magazine and less of a person in an environment. So see what you can do to get some perspective. You can't always do it, but if you can, that's great. Often videographers recommend 8 to 10 feet behind you. And even if you don't have a DSLR camera that's going to blurry that background, if you can choose that background so it's just non-distracting, it makes a huge difference. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to try and do this in a continuous shot so that you know that I'm just doing this with my cell phone, nothing else, no magic going on here. You can see how different that is. Now, the other thing I might do here is I might change the angle there a little bit, because what you want is you want your head close to the top of the frame, but not at the top of the frame. And what I say is put 2 hands on top of each other, and that second hand should go towards right at the edge of the frame. That's a good positioning. Also, design-wise, really where you're looking at is the rule of thirds. So you want to be 1/3 to the side and 1/3 above. So if you took your video and just did a photo of it and did 3 columns and 3 rows, you want most things going on in an upper corner. Either one will do. I just happen to pick this side because I wanted you to see what that perspective of that background room did. I think it makes a huge change. But also it's about what we call finding your light. When I had the light bounce off of the white wall, it made my skin look harsher. It's going to do that with almost all skin tones. So you want to stay away from a pure white wall. Often when you see video with people who have a pure white background, it's actually done with green screen. So the video was done where they had a green screen behind them and they took out the green and put in the white. The reason for that was so that they could get a light balance without the bounce back from that white wall. But also, I have light in front of my face, but not like directly above my head. I often tell people, get the light in front of you, get more light, get more light. And they will go and they will do this, where they put themselves directly under a light, right? And you can see that if I'm directly under the light, even if I'm trying to position well, pretty background, but that light glare is putting shadow on my eyes. Last thing you want is shadow on your eyes. Your eyes are the window to your wisdom, right? So you want to do that. You can do all of these things for free. That didn't cost anything. Now, I do want to show you one more thing that's going on here. I am using the headphones from the iPhone jack, right? Because I'm in a big room. And I think you can hear that if I take out those, we're getting a lot more echo. So all I did is I had a safety pin and the headphones from the iPhone, and I was good to go. But I made sure that I could find a nice background and get my light and make use of those headphones. So all of this is no equipment, just your cell phone. So you can do it. I hope this helps. In other videos, we will talk about some tools and techniques and things you can use to help you. There is something called a ring light that you can clip on so that if you don't have sufficient light, you can clip that on. I don't know what it's going to do with this light balance here, but we'll see. You can clip that on. It goes around the lens of the camera and can just give you a more balanced, bright light if you need it. Obviously, you can get other more professional microphones than this one that I've done. And again, they can be very cheap, sometimes 15, 20 bucks US. And I do recommend a tripod. Now, the one piece of equipment I did use in this video was a tripod. So I recommend that. Okay, thanks so much for joining me for this video on looking great, and I hope to see you on the next.